The departure of Zuner does not deal a blow to Xiao Yan, but instead, Xiao Yan is more crave for power. His own strength is the only capital that helps him to be recognized by the Zuner's family. Upcoming is the trial for the Xinyan source. Xiao Yan and Xian and others are waiting outside the Tianfen gas refining tower with great expectations. With the order of Su Qian, the heavy door slowly opens, with a hot breath greeting them. Following Su Qian, Xiao Yan and others are walking towards the depths of the earth. After some time, they come to a huge square. In the center of the square stands a huge pillar of fire. The blue flame in Xinyan source is throbbing, indicating that they're not far away from the place where the Xinyan source is going to land. Su Chenming asks them to sit around the pillar of fire, and with a wave of his hand, a gap appears on the pillar of fire with clouds of thick heart fire floating out, and the air in the square become instantly hot. The eyes of Xiao Yan and others are burning. It's likely that this is the original heart fire. It's unknown whether the road to be promoted to King Do can be blazed after physical trial. The invisible heart fire wafts towards people's heads. When it penetrates into the body, everyone gives a start and their faces are instantly staggeringly flushed with mist wafting from the top of their heads. Even few of those who make it to the top 10 can bear the pain of heart fire. While going through the trial, their meridians, bones and blood are burning relentlessly almost all the time. At the same time, the sea urchin-like bucket crystal is also being quenched, and a continuous discharge of impurities will disappear in an instant. Seeing that Xiao Yan and others gradually get into the state, Su Chen asks other elders to pay more attention, while he walks towards the last floor. Since the moment he steps into the tower, he becomes a little uneasy. The only thing that can make him so emotional is the fire python sealed in the heart of the earth. After 2 hours, one of the 11 students begins to shake violently, and his burning face turns pale instantly. The elder who is guarding beside him immediately steps forward and put his palm on the back of the person to forcibly suppress the original heart fire with his powerful fighting spirit. But even so, the trembling student still spurts blood and finally falls into a coma. This kind of situation happens again and again. Xiao Yan and Xian and others are still struggling. But in the secret room on the last floor, Elder Su Qian frowns, and the magma in front of him seems to have been solidified, which is eerily calm and quiet. However, he has faintly sensed a strong energy before. Suddenly, a tinkle breaks the piece of the ground, followed by the burst of an extremely violent energy. The calm magma, as of a sudden, churns violently with a huge fire python rising in the air, and the triangular snake eyes stares at Su Qian in front of him with its tongue sticking out as if it tries to provoke him. Su Qian's heart skips a beat, his face full of fright. When did the energy of falling Xinyan source become so strong? Just as Su Qian is taken by surprise, the fire python makes a sharp hissing and crashes towards the upper barrier. Su Qian immediately has a bad hunch and retreats quickly, and meanwhile, with his hands working on the seal, a colorful barrier immediately seals the exit of the last layer, accompanied by his shouts. Elders, rush to the tower, and all the students keep yourself 100 meters away from the Tianfen gas refining tower. Xiao Yan and others, who are undergoing physical trial, wake up with a start, and the grey robe elder anxiously summons everyone to withdraw outside the tower. Xiao Yan's eyes narrowed slightly, the blue flames flooding into his eyes. He sees the billowing fire python in the depths of the earth. The violent energy is surging up from the center of the earth. He immediately looks away and dashes towards the passage. Xian, however, seems unconcerned. In the back of the line, she murmurs, "Isn't it the fire riot at the bottom of the tower? It's not the first time." Suddenly, a firewall blocks her way, a look of panic coming into Xian's eyes. Xiao Yan in front of her also notices something bad. Looking back, he sees a wave of fire coming over at full speed, which is about to engulf Xian. Xiao Yan gives a low cry. The blue flame instantly attaches him, with the purple wings suddenly expanding, he rushes back without hesitation. Xiao Yan, protected by the strange fire, easily penetrates the firewall, hugs the panicked Xian, and rushes out of the passage with her. Fortunately, the fire wave does not catch up with Xiao Yan, and the two people ran out of the Tianfen gas refining tower. Lin Xiuya and others stand on the open ground without leaving. Although they have experienced several riots, they have never seen the elders so flustered. Xiao Yan opens his eyes again and looks at the Tianfen gas refining tower, only to find that the barrier of Elder Su Qian could not contain the fire python. The golden flame column is shaking violently, and enraging energy rushes to the top of the tower followed by a startling explosion, making the whole Tianfen gas refining tower quake. The landing Xinyan source is obviously about to break the seal, and Yao Lao can't help sighing at this time. I didn't expect that this strange fire has evolved to such a degree. But given that he has no strength to suppress meteoric heart disease, it falls to the elders of Jianan Academy to deal with it. The elders in the tower have all rushed out at this time. With Su Chen as the core, more than 20 people have formed a circle around the Tianfen gas refining tower, with their hands working on the seal. A layer of barrier has been falling down, enveloping the top of the Tianfen gas refining tower. All of a sudden, there comes another explosion, and the top of the tower burst, and the wild python squirming its body crazily in the boundary, continuously making a sharp hissing. In Maple City, in the Black Corner region, Han Feng suddenly rises up. He senses the energy of the strange fire between heaven and earth. After a careful thought, his face beams with joy. The energy is coming from the inner academy of the Jianan Academy. The previous rumor that the Jianan Academy has raised a strange fire is not groundless. Han Feng immediately makes an order and summons people and rush to the inner academy. He has been planning for a long time to capture the strange fire, and all major forces in the Black Horn region are bought by him with pills. The situation in the inner academy is precarious. The fire python continues to impact the energy barrier. Some elders are no longer able to stand up, and their faces are drained of color. Some start to vomit blood and retreat, and the energy barrier also becomes thinner. The last line of defense is about to be broken.
Ha! Ha!
Elder Su, I hope we are not late. Hu Qian's voice sounds. He rushes here with the elders of the Outer Academy. Su Qian is relieved at the sight of them. With the elder of the Outer Academy, the energy boundary became solid again, the impact of the fire python gradually weakens, and a catastrophe seems to be about to be ended. Xiao Yan slowly breathes a sigh of relief. If the seal is broken at this time, what will he take to refine it? Once it is returns to the world, where can he find it? But just as everyone is preparing to celebrate, an inharmonious voice comes from the sky. I didn't expect that there's such a strange fire hidden in the inner academy. A large group of dark shadows appear in the middle of the sky, with a strong killing intent given out on their bodies. Su Qian's smile suddenly stiffens as he looks at the man who is wearing the medicine maker's robe coldly. So it's Han Feng, the medicine king of the Black Horn region. Hearing Han Feng's name, Xiao Yan is stunned. Unexpectedly, he meets Han Feng in this situation, and there was a burning sensation from the ring where Yao Lao lived, which shows that his emotion is overwhelming.